Wales is a land of staggering beauty. Rolling green hills stretch beneath brooding skies, ancient forests whisper in the wind, and quiet lakes reflect the heavens like glass. It's a place that feels timeless, sacred, a land where the mountains hum with memory, and the stone walls seem older than the stars themselves. But behind that beauty lies something older still. Whispers passed down through generations, stories told by firelight, warnings etched into the very bones of the land, tales of monsters, spirits, cursed kings, and creatures that walk the border between our world and something far stranger. These aren't just bedtime stories, they're echoes of a time when the veil was thin, and some say, still is. So come with me into the mists and shadows of Cymru. These are 5 of the strangest, darkest, and most haunting folklore tales ever to rise from the soul of Wales. My name is Nex, and welcome to the Nex Archives. In the shadowed folds of ancient Wales, beneath mist-choked trees, and beside still silent waters, there lurked a creature feared by all who dwelled nearby, the Afanc. Described in different tales as a monstrous beaver, a crocodile-like beast, or a demon with claws and the strength of 100 men, the Afanc was said to dwell in a lake, most often Llyn Afanc in Snowdonia, or sometimes Llyn near Aberdyfi. Wherever it was, the water was always cold, dark, and strangely quiet, like the lake itself was holding its breath. The Afanc wasn't just a local nuisance, it was a terror. It would stir from the depths during storms, causing deadly floods that washed away villages, drowned livestock, and dragged the innocent to a watery grave. And worse still, its fury was said to be unstoppable unless someone could remove it from its lake. And so the legends tell us of a bold plan. Some say it was King Arthur himself, aided by his brave men. Others speak of a local maiden, one brave enough to approach the creature. Knowing the Afanc could be lulled to sleep, she let it rest its monstrous head in her lap, and when it dozed, the villagers chained it in its slumber. With oxen, great hulking beasts, they dragged the Afanc from the lake, its body writhing and roaring as it awakened. But once free of the water, it was weaker, vulnerable. Some stories say it was slain on the spot. Others say it was taken to a distant hidden lake where it could do no more harm. Many believe that lake to be Llyn, nestled high in the mountains of Snowdonia, a place that even now holds a strange quiet, and whose depths remain untouched, as if something waits below. They say the water there remains unusually still, and if you listen, you might hear a low growl beneath the surface, like something ancient, remembering. High in the wild, windswept hills of Carmarthenshire lies a lonely lake called Llyn Fach. It is a place of stillness and story, nestled at the foot of sheer cliffs, where the mists roll like spirits over the water. It was here long ago that a young farmer, humble and kind, was tending to his sheep when he saw something impossible. From the lake's surface emerged a woman of unearthly beauty, unlike anyone from this world. She had eyes like starlight, hair dark as raven's wings, and a presence that seemed to quiet the very air. She spoke little but smiled, and the young man fell in love instantly. He returned to the lake again and again, bringing her food, singing to the waters, desperate for her affection. And one day she spoke. She would marry him, but only under one condition. If he were to strike her 3 times, she would leave him forever and return to the lake. It seemed easy enough, and they were married. She lived with him on the land, bore him 3 sons, and their farm flourished. But fate, as always, cannot be bargained with. The first blow came when he tapped her on the shoulder, forgetting the rule in jest. The second was a playful nudge at her wedding. And the third when she wept at a funeral, and he touched her arm gently to calm her. 3 times. Without a word she left him. She walked away from her children, her home, her life, and vanished into the waters of Llyn van Fach. But her love for the children did not die. She would return in secret to teach her sons the healing arts of the world. They became the famed physicians of mythic, known across Wales for their knowledge, skill, and uncanny ability to heal. It was said their wisdom came not from books, but from the Lady of the Lake herself. To this day the lake remains still and watchful, and those who visit say if the mist hangs just right, they see a figure upon a shore, a woman waiting, or perhaps remembering. In the ancient highlands of Wales, where the mountains swallow the sky and the mists never quite lift, there is said to be a presence. Not a creature, not a man, but a force, watching, waiting, ever patient. He is called Brenin Llwyd, the Grey King. Rarely named aloud, and never with confidence, the Grey King is not so much seen as felt. A chill that creeps into your bones, a shadow that moves when nothing else does, the silence between gusts of wind on a high ridge. He rules not with a crown or sceptre, but with fog, storm, and isolation. His domain is the lonely peaks, especially the Coed Idris range, where poets dream madness and wanderers vanish. Some say those who sleep too long on the mountain hear his voice, whispering promises or warnings. But most never speak of what they've heard. In some stories, the Grey King appears as a towering figure cloaked in mist, with hollow eyes that drain the will of any who meet them. He is neither dead nor alive, he simply is. Timeless, unchanging, as old as the rock beneath your feet. Parents in certain valleys once warned their children, don't stray too high into the hills, especially not alone. The Brenin Llwyd doesn't shout or chase, he waits, and if the mist rolls in quick and the path behind you fades, you may already be in his realm. Some believe he lures souls away. Others think he guards something ancient and terrible. And some believe he is the mist itself, formless, endless, inevitable. So when you're hiking in Snowdonia, or exploring the old mountain passes, and the fog thickens without warning, don't linger. Don't call out. Don't look behind you, because the Grey King walks in silence, and you might not even know you've been taken. Hidden deep in the Vale of Glamorgan south of Bridgend, there lies an ancient stretch of woodland called Coed, a name whispered with unease by those who know the old stories. It looks peaceful enough by day, but by night the trees groan, the air thickens, and something moves beneath the canopy. They say Coed is cursed. Long ago, when Wales was still a land of chieftains and druids, a tribe of warriors lived near the woods. Fierce and proud, they made a blood pact with a mysterious force, one that would grant them strength and protection, but at a terrible cost. Under the full moon their bodies twisted, their bones snapped and reformed, claws tore through flesh, and their mouths filled with the teeth of beasts. They became Cumblathi-eyed wolfmen, not by infection or bite, but by choice. They welcomed the change. At first they used their power to protect the land, driving off invaders and rival clans, but bloodlust is a hard thing to control. The curse or gift grew darker. They began hunting not just enemies but travellers, strangers, even their own people when the moon hung low and their minds slipped. It's said that eventually the villagers turned on them, burned their homes, cursed their names, and forced them deep in the heart of Coed, but they did not die. Even now, when the wind howls through the trees and the sky glows silver, locals speak of glowing eyes watching from the tree line, of monstrous howls that echo across the fields, livestock found torn apart, with no tracks leading away. Some believe their descendants still live there, wild, hidden, waiting. And those brave or foolish enough to walk through Coed on a moonlit night, they say you don't hear the wolves approach, you only hear the growl, just before everything goes dark. In the green heart of Wales, where the hills roll like waves and the mists kiss the earth, they say the veil between worlds is thin, very thin, and through that veil walk the Tylwyth Teg, the fair folk. They are the fairies of Welsh legend, but don't let the name fool you. They are not tiny winged tricksters, they are beings of ancient power, beautiful, graceful, and deeply inhuman. They dwell in hidden realms beneath lakes, within hollow hills, or among the ruins of long-forgotten places, where time twists and rules do not apply. The Tylwyth Teg can be generous. They might leave coins in your shoes, or help your crops grow, but they never do it for free. Accepting their gift is accepting a bargain, whether you know it or not. They are known to abduct mortals, especially children. Sometimes they leave behind a changeling, a fey child in disguise. Other times nothing at all, just silence, where laughter once lived. But it's not all malice. Some stories tell of humans falling in love with the fair folk, enticed into dances on moonlit hills, drawn into their glittering underground courts. But time moves differently there. A single night of joy might mean 100 years have passed when you return, if you're allowed to return at all. They hate iron, they love music, and they are bound by ancient rules. Rules even they do not fully understand. To this day, in remote parts of Wales, offerings are still quietly left at certain stones or trees. A piece of bread, a silver coin, not out of belief perhaps, but respect, a cautious inherited fear, because the fair folk are still there. And if you hear laughter in the woods at night, soft and melodic, drifting on the wind, Whatever you do, don't follow it, no matter how sweet it sounds. The stories of Wales are like its landscape, breathtaking, ancient, and often treacherous beneath the surface. From lake-dwelling monsters to cursed kings, from wild woods to fairy realms that twist time itself, these legends are more than just tales. They are warnings, echoes, reminders that even in the most beautiful places, the unseen world watches back. So next time you walk a lonely path, or hear the wind howl over the hills, ask yourself, are you alone, or are you being watched? If you enjoyed this journey into Welsh folklore, don't vanish into the mist just yet. Subscribe to the next archives for more tales from the shadows, more myths, monsters, and mysteries that the modern world forgot. And tell me in the comments below, which of these legends chilled you the most? Or have you heard others? Until next time, keep your fire burning, your back to the wind, and never trust a silent forest. Diolch am wylio pawb.